For most of the 20th century, there was a building material so useful, so fireproof, and so cheap that builders put it in absolutely everything. Schools, hospitals, navy ships, ceiling tiles, floor tiles, insulation, pipe wrapping, brake pads, hair dryers. It was literally called the miracle mineral. The miracle was killing people the whole time. Asbestos is a naturally occurring fibre that has been mined and used for thousands of years. The ancient Greeks noticed the workers who mined it seemed to get sick a lot. They noted it and moved on. By the early 20th century, the asbestos industry was booming. The material was cheap to mine, incredibly resistant to fire and heat, and could be woven, sprayed, glued and pressed into almost anything. The construction and shipbuilding industries could not get enough of it. Then, starting in the 1930s, internal company reports began documenting something deeply alarming. Workers in asbestos mines and factories were dying at extraordinary rates from severe progressive lung disease. The companies read the reports. They buried the reports. The asbestos kept shipping. For decades, executives at major asbestos manufacturers actively suppressed evidence, misled workers, and lobbied against safety regulations. Some internal documents later revealed in court showed that company leadership knew inhalation of asbestos fibres caused mesothelioma, a rare and almost always fatal lung cancer, and asbestosis, a catastrophic scarring of the lung tissue. They knew. They kept selling. Meanwhile, asbestos was being installed in almost every school built in America between the 1950s and 1970s. Children sat under asbestos ceiling tiles for years. Workers insulated pipes in Navy shipyards with bare hands and no masks. Construction crews sprayed it onto steel beams for fireproofing in a fine, breathable mist. The symptoms of asbestos-related disease do not appear for anywhere from 10 to 50 years after exposure. By the time people started getting sick in massive numbers, the material was already inside millions of buildings across the country. The lawsuits began in the 1970s and they never stopped. Over 100 companies eventually filed for bankruptcy due to asbestos liability. The total cost of asbestos litigation in the United States has exceeded $100 billion and is still climbing. It remains the longest-running mass tort litigation in American history. Entire government programs were created just to compensate victims. Asbestos removal became its own massive industry. Schools paid millions to rip out the material that other companies had paid millions to install. The United States still has not fully banned asbestos. As of the early 2020s, it still appears in trace amounts in some imported products. They called it a miracle. The miracle had a 50-year fuse. Faceplant.